If you're just here for the Sherm skip rhythm, then you can go to the timestamp on screen. It will also be in the description below. If you've been keeping up with the Odyssey community, then you might have heard of this speedrun category called minimum captures. In this speedrun, you beat the game while capturing the minimum number of things. Depending on what version of the game you're on, the minimum number of captures is either 3 or 4. 3 if you're on 1.0 and have the patience to pull off this madness, or 4 if you're on 1.2 or higher. One of the tricks used in this run is known as Sherm skip, which skips the Sherm capture in the Mechawiggler fight, and in this video I'm going to be going over how to do it. Sherm skip is a variation of a Cappy return cancel, which allows you to skip the entire Mechawiggler fight in the Metro Kingdom, which in turn skips a previously mandatory capture of the Sherm. Before doing this trick, you need to not have entered Metro Kingdom on the file you're playing on, as we need to access Metro Kingdom during the day but before it turns to night. This trick can be done if you have already beaten the Mechawiggler, but it won't do any good if you're doing minimum captures, so you can practice this trick on another save file before attempting it in a run if you want to. You also need to have collected the showdown on the inverted pyramid story moon in Sand Kingdom, so that the Sand Kingdom is in its nighttime story phase. After you've done this, enter the painting which takes you to Metro Kingdom. It's found on the north side of the pillar here on the map. When you go through the painting, you'll notice that it's daytime in Metro Kingdom and there's no Mechawiggler in sight. By getting to the mainland of Metro Kingdom, you can in theory collect 20 moons right away, so that when you get to Night Metro, the moons will already be collected, and you can move right on to Snow Kingdom. To do this, you'll need to use a Cappy return cancel, which, when done correctly, can convert Cappy's vertical distance from Mario to horizontal distance, which can be used to reach the Main Street checkpoint. Before beginning, to make this trick easier, you should go into the game's options, select Controls, and then set Use Motion Controls under the Camera Controls section to off. This won't disable motion controls for movement such as rolling, but we do this so that first person mode doesn't mess up the setup later. After you've sorted out the settings and have entered Metro Kingdom through the painting, collect the isolated rooftop checkpoint and then line Mario up here on the edge of the building and have him face north. Note that it's important to have Mario on the sloped part of the ledge, as this is what makes the CRC work. Now here comes the hard part. Go into 2-player mode and send Cappy out on the second controller with Y. You'll have to ground pound with Cappy exactly 54 times, and then while crouching press Y on the Cappy controller, and then Y again exactly 3.13 seconds later. To help with this, there is a drum beat which I'll show in a moment, which will help with the timing of the Cappy ground pounds, as well as the precise Y inputs. The inputs will also be displayed on screen with the beat. After the second Y input, Cappy's icon should blink and move a bit. Where Cappy's icon moves to depends on the camera angle, but if Mario is facing north, Cappy should go to more or less the same spot. If Cappy just returned to Mario's head, then you press the Y button too early, and if Cappy returned and just got thrown out again, then you press the Y button too late. To prepare yourself for the next part, pause the game with the Cappy controller, and then unpause with the Mario controller. After you've unpaused, backflip, ground pound jump, spin towards the wall jump, spin again, and dive on top of the big box thing. Right after you've initiated that last dive, pause the game and enter back into one player mode. Doing this before Mario even hits the ground makes the time frame for this next part a little less tight. After you've gone back into one player mode, go into first person mode when Mario is standing by clicking the right stick, and then go into snapshot mode by pressing down on the D-pad, all within a short time frame. By using snapshot mode while in first person mode, we can aim Mario towards the main street checkpoint, which is how we'll get Cappy there. When in snapshot mode, nudge the right stick to make sure it's usable for the camera. If you go into snapshot mode during the zooming in cutscene for first person mode, the camera won't be able to move. If this is the case, just press down on the D-pad twice in quick succession and test the camera again. When the camera is movable, zoom in all the way with X. You can use the square in the middle of the screen to line up with the checkpoint. If the square disappears, you can press Y to make it reappear again. When zoomed in, the camera can be hard to control, so use small flicks with the right stick to line it up. Once you've lined up the camera with the checkpoint, exit snapshot mode and pause as soon as possible. Mario will be facing the way the camera was during snapshot mode, and because we turned the camera motion controls off, Mario's facing direction won't get messed up after you leave snapshot mode. Go back into 2-player mode and as soon as possible crouch with the Mario controller and shake the Cappy controller until the checkpoint is collected or until Cappy returns to Mario. If all went well, Cappy will teleport over to the checkpoint and collect it. If not, Cappy will just return to Mario and you'll have to try again. All that's left now is to walk to the checkpoint, collect 20 moons, and walk back to the isolated rooftop checkpoint. Now just go back to the Sand Kingdom and keep progressing through the story. Once you get to Night Metro, the 20 moons you collected before will be in your inventory, so you can just move on to Snow Kingdom. And just like that, congratulations! You've successfully skipped the Mechawiggler fight, and more importantly, the Sherm capture. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the minimum number of captures on version 1.3 is 4, and Sherm Skip isn't the only cool trick you'll have to use for a full minimum captures run. I'm actually going to be making tutorials for all of the tricks used in minimum captures, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and also make sure to subscribe if you want to. Also, if you want to see a full minimum captures run, I'll link to Smalllands 1.0 and 1.3 world records in the description below. With that being said, I'll see you all next time.